Good morning, friends. Welcome to the autumn vlog. I have one very simple goal with this vlog, and that is basically to feel like as much like I'm in an episode of like Gilmore Girls, or like getting all of the pumpkin spice latte vibes as possible. But sadly, autumn has been like very short in London this year. It really only started like second week of October, third week of October. We are in like the last few days of October now, and all of the leaves are already like on the other side of falling down. So I feel like autumn is basically going to be over this week. So we have got a bit of a time frame this week to do as much cute autumnal London-y activities as possible. And I thought, why not bring you guys along if you are planning a trip to London in autumn next year in 5 years' time. This will be relevant for you. If you live in London, just a little bit of autumn inspo, or if you just want to live like vicariously through all of the like London autumnal vibes, that is the whole purpose of this vlog. But first we need to fix one very important thing, and that is the fact that it is 10 a.m. and I haven't had coffee and I don't quite know how I'm functioning yet. So first, coffee. If you're new around here, by the way, my name is Jess. I am a Kiwi and New Zealander who lives in London, and I like to make videos all about living and moving here, as well as all the cool places I get to travel, and of course all of the food that I eat along the way. So if that is a bit of you, hit subscribe. I would love to have you here because we have so much like London European Christmas content coming up. I cannot wait. But for now, let's stop with the babbling and go do more of the caffeining. Yes, that sounds good. As per usual, I cannot leave the house in London without getting distracted, so while I managed to make my way to South Kensington, before getting a coffee I had to stop in at Kynance Mews, which is known as one of the most beautiful streets in London. I believe it's been featured on a lot of shows and movies, but most recently it was Joe's home on You Season 4 on Netflix. I was so lucky the rain had just stopped when I arrived, and the autumnal leaves and glistening cobblestones were just so quaint and perfect, but with another downpour imminent, I hurried on to Ember Lock down the road for coffee. This is a relatively new hotel, but the lobby has this beautiful atrium design and a coffee shop, which is just so lovely to work in. They also have a bunch of pastry options, which is what I went for today, but they do serve food, so definitely worth checking it out if you're in the area. The rain finally cleared, and actually it was bright sunshine, so I decided to walk the 20 minutes to Holland Park. Here you will find the Design Museum, which I highly recommend checking out, but today I'm here to see Kyoto Gardens, which is apparently beautiful in autumn. The gardens were so peaceful and the colours of the trees were just gorgeous. I also loved how many birds and fish and overly friendly squirrels were here. It really is a little oasis that does not feel like it is in the middle of busy London at all. From here it is an easy and peaceful walk through the back streets up to the bustle of Notting Hill, and today is the day before Halloween, and one of the best areas in London to see decorations is Notting Hill. They really were doing the most. A few days later, I was told by my weather app that it was going to be bright sunshine today, but alas, I am looking out at my window and it is completely grey. But we're going to make it work. Today we're going up to one of my favourite areas in London. It is an area that I think is like quite underrated for tourists. Like I always see everybody going to Camden Market, and this place is like only a couple more stops on the same tube line, but I barely ever see it making into like anybody's like to visit London itinerary unless you are being shown around by a local. The area is called Hampstead, and it is just absolutely beautiful. The high street is gorgeous. It has all these little laneways with independent shops to explore. It kind of has like a very like quaint English town feel, but like right in the middle of the busyness of London, which I absolutely love. I'm also going to take you to my favourite coffee shop around the area, which is in like a historic home, so a really cool spot for what has turned out to be a bit of a moody autumn day. And then we're going to go and find one of my favourite green spaces to sort of explore in London. It is definitely a hidden gem, and I really just hope all the leaves haven't fallen yet. I have coffee, but we're going to go get another one. Let's do it. We really are in that unpredictable weather season, because even though it was above 10 degrees, it still felt chilly this morning. One of my biggest tips for anyone exploring London is to make sure you venture off the high street and explore the surrounding suburb. As you saw with Notting Hill, and also the same here in Hampstead, these residential areas are just beautiful and an absolute joy if you love photography. I wandered through the high street checking out the cafes and the shops, and a quick side note, Ginger and White is also an amazing cafe. You might recognise it from the Somebody Feed Phil London episode, so let me know if you've seen that series because we are definitely kindred spirits if you have. Now for my personal favourite cafe, which is inside Burr House. This is a historic home and museum dating back to the 1700s, filled with beautiful flowers and art to explore. And surrounding the home is the most stunning cafe, open Wednesdays through to Sundays, where you can find a little nook in their wild garden on the good days or cozy up inside on days like this. I went for a fruit scone, which was fresh out the oven and still warm, absolute perfection. I've just had the most gorgeous little walk up through the quiet back streets of Hampstead, and now we are at the pergola, which is kind of like the secret garden place I wanted to show you guys. There is almost nobody here, so when I say if you're visiting London, try and carve out a bit of time in your itinerary to see things that are outside of Central. This is what I mean, because there's all these amazing little pockets of hidden gems in London that you wouldn't get to see otherwise if you don't head out of Zone 1. So let's take a little look around. The Hill Garden and Pergola is nestled in the northwest of the sprawling grounds of Hampstead Heath, and as far as I understand, the pergola was built by a lord in the 1900s to host what I imagine would have been extravagant and fabulous summer garden parties. But for now, it is open to the public and really has that feel of stumbling upon something from a time gone by. It does get busy with walkers here on the weekends, but if you can make it here on a dreary weekday, you will practically have the place to yourself. And guys, we've made it to chapter 3 of the autumn vlog, which is all about having like the perfect lazy Sunday. You know, just like one of those Sundays that you really need to like rest and reset before you get into the busyness of like Monday and the work week. That is the job for today. And for me, those days have like 3 key things happening in them. Number 1, cute coffee shop, sit down, relax, unwinding, perfect. Number 2, getting outside, exploring a green space. And lastly, doing something like creative or fun that like fills your soul or like fills your cup or whatever you need before you get into the week. So we're going to go and check off all 3 of those things today. We're going to go do it in an area that is actually quite close to central London as well, so really easy to add onto an itinerary if you're visiting. Let's stop talking about having a relaxing Sunday and let's go and do it. Oh, the sun. She is out. First stop, the park. Let's get those steps in. We are off to Regent's Park, and honestly, this is what I love so much about living in a city like London. I walk so much more here than I ever have anywhere else I've lived. And at the bottom of Regent's Park, you will pop out near Marylebone, which just has the most gorgeous high street. We turned off down one of the back streets and found this market, which I think is only on Sundays, so that was really lucky. And of course, we had to have a quick little snack stop. We are Kiwis, so we went straight for the barbecue sausages in a roll, and it really hit the spot, just like perfect, quick Sunday lunch. Next on the agenda was the Wallace Collection just down the road, and I thought for some reason that this was a small gallery, but boy was I wrong. There were rooms upon rooms filled with paintings and furniture and artifacts and so much more. I would love like a gallery wall with frames like this, and also this clock is giving me like very big Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast vibes. Anybody else getting that? A good thing to know is that entry here is free, which is such a bonus, and they do have a cafe here, but being a Sunday it was pretty busy, so we wandered around the corner to Chiltern Street, which is one of the nicest shopping and cafe streets in London. It is also only an 18-minute walk from Oxford Street, and personally I would choose this relaxed vibe over the busyness of Oxford Street any day. We grabbed a seat outside, ordered up a hot chocolate, and enjoyed the last hour of sun because yes, the sun is setting at 4:30 these days, and I'm not quite sure how I'm coping. And that's a wrap on the autumn vlog. Let me know in the comments what other sort of London vlogs you guys would like to see, whether it's like seasonal or food-based or things to do. Let me know, it'll help me decide sort of what content to create in the future. But if you're into London festive content, there is a lot of that coming up both here and on my like Instagram and TikTok. And if you happen to be visiting London over this season, I have created like one mega London winter pocket guide, which includes all of my own personal recommendations, tips for sort of visiting London over winter, a Google foodie map for where to eat, and just everything you kind of need to have the best trip to London in winter. So that will be linked in the description Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!